force.
You prefer that kind of thing? If you're trying to get a group of men to collectively use force to give people rights in the United States, it's clearly not working for you.
Wherever the institution is that controls the power of men's force, right? We will always win. You literally cannot tell a human being. Let me finish. I just let you finish.
You and your God. So you maybe should get the fuck out and go into one of these patriarchal societies.
I love the fact that your argument is because you're stupid. It's because you're stupid. That's why. Where was their apocalypse? Where did the meteor come down and destroy everything and it's Mad Max in the streets and there's oil cans? I don't get it.
The nations that use brute force to give people rights are the ones where it seems like people have the least
Ours
rights.
does that.
The ones with the institutions, like we
ours
have,
uses brute force.
You prefer that kind of thing? If you're trying to get a group of men to collectively use force to give people rights in the United States, it's clearly not working for you.
No, it is working.
Listen, you should move to Saudi Arabia.
I'll explain this. If we control the institutions, we control the force. It's the same process. Don't you understand that? Wherever the institution is that controls the power of men's force, right? We will always win. All the things that you're pointing at are just the power of collective men using force. All the institutions, the military, law enforcement, that's all a collection of men utilizing force. So if you're talking about institutions, what we're really doing is we're seizing the collective power of using force. Yes, it is true. Absent force, they have no power.
We're in 2023. As things evolve, as technological advances continue to come about, it's not even in war anymore. It's not a battle. It's not sheer numbers, right?
Yes, it is.
Scientific. Oppenheimer was just the biggest film.
Oh, yeah. You're so right. There wasn't just this massive attack that happened with guys skydiving in with old parachutes and machetes who just went into a first world nation that had an Iron Dome missile system, were able to circumvent it and kill hundreds of people with their primitive technology.
People who want to be together, enjoy their lives, be happy, be healthy, not hurt other people.
Why should they be about that? Why should I accept that this is axiomatically true, that relationships should be about whatever feminist bullshit you want them to be about? Why should I accept that that's true?
Bullshit.
Why should I accept that it's about egalitarianism and fairness and awesomeness and open relationships and OnlyFans? Why should I have any at all acceptance that that's the way things should be as an ought claim? Why should they be that way?
You could, if we're going to get into the oughts and all that, but our country was founded on secularism and freedom. Those were two foundational pillars. So you could take it up with the founding fathers who were of your gender. They did not decide that we want to have our society be framed around your Christian values.
Yes, they did. Which is why it was. You're lying through your teeth.
Your values are not succeeding here. They haven't succeeded for a long time.
That's not an argument.
And you constantly think that things are going to turn good for you, but they're not.
That's not an argument.
Like I said,
you just keep pivoting.
We have all the power in media, in the corporate world. You don't even necessarily have a right to on YouTube.
That's not an argument. Don't you understand? You're not making an argument. You're just saying...
Is patriarchy?
Oh, well, okay, fine. Well, then anywhere else on planet Earth where that's not the case, that's not the case. You see how that it's not an argument to just say, but right now the establishment favors us. That does nothing to get us closer to what ought be or how we move towards what ought be. Okay. Take South Korea, for instance. After it became westernized and it brought in egalitarianism, right? It has the lowest birth rate, to my knowledge, of any place on planet Earth. It's so bad that in 150 years, there's not going to be a Korea. It's not even reproducing itself. It's under the 1. It's under the 1. It's like 0.90, right? We need to be at like 2.2, something in there, at least 2.1. Right? And we're way under that threshold and we are nosediving. And this has a lot to do with the fact that career women are focusing on career first. They're focusing on all of these things first before they focus on family. Historically, that's never happened. And I think that the best way to deal with that issue so that we can have a human race, because that sounds great to me, would be for us to institute some types of policies which, once again, favor the patriarchal system. And I think that that's inevitable anyway.
If it's inevitable, I'm not seeing a sign of it coming back. Where is it? You're saying the birth rates are declining.
I just told you the sign of it.
Yeah, you're saying the birth rates are declining. You're saying that clearly this is failing. You're saying clearly women getting all these rights sucks.
Yes.
Clearly relationships shouldn't be like this.
Yes.
So why are you the only person that sees this? Are you just
I'm
the
not.
one that sees
I'm not. I will say that the message is ahead of its time, right? But the decline in the birth rates has been, people have been sounding the alarm for a while. It's just been ignored because dumbass feminist propaganda and dumbass feminists who say stupid shit like, I don't care, even if it made 80% of women unhappy, I think the human race should go extinct so that my woman can be happy. We need the women to be happy. Who cares at the expense of everything else on planet Earth?
I would say the absence of future happiness of future people is not as important as preventing suffering and harm to the people that are here. For those people, then you are the like.
This is hilarious. Like you're actually saying to me this. Here's what you're saying to me. You're saying future generations and their happiness don't matter, right? Comparatively, what matters is what's going on currently. And if the actions that humans collectively take currently, right now, eradicate all of humanity, which then assures that there will never be people to be joyful or be happy, then one, happiness can't be your biggest metric. It's impossible because you would want there to be the most amount of living people who were happy regardless of circumstance. Two, can't be consequentialism. So what the fuck is it?
It means that I don't believe in objective morality. I think everything is kind of based on our moral preferences. That's basically what I told you.
Okay. So if you don't believe in, so nothing's moral.
Moral intuition is basically what I think most of us are going by, including yourself. You're
okay, and that's subjective, right? Not objective by your metric, right? Yes, it is subjective. Okay, so then why should we listen to a fucking word that you're saying? If you're saying I have a subjective standard and I'm trying to apply this subjective standard, and I think you should follow that subjective standard because
my position isn't that I have a subjective standard. My position is all of us have a subjective standard.
Yeah, that's worse. Yourself. Yeah, that's so that follows then.
Who can we even that's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Who by your standard, who the fuck could we ever follow for any type of anything?
You and your God. That's not what this country decided to do. That's not what our founding fathers wanted. So you maybe should get the fuck out and go into one of these patriarchal societies where they follow your moral philosophy.
So the status quo. The status quo is all that matters.
Moral philosophy, and as much as you want to have these hypotheticals, like that's the thing. It's like the least threatening thing ever. Obviously, I want my values to prevail in my society, and if my biggest threat is Andrew the Crucible sitting here being like, "Well, if all the men fought all the women," like it would just be. I'm like, great, we're gonna win. We're great.
No, you don't need all. You don't need all the men to fight all the women. You just need to have the institutions where the enforcement arm of men are, and then you win the game. It's very simple. And if you think that the right can't do that and haven't traditionally been able to do that, you're smoking crack, lady.
Me. All right. I am a 28-year-old woman, highly educated. I'm pretty fucking rich from OnlyFans. Why should I get into a relationship and have a patriarchal underpinning to my relationship? Can you tell me why I should do that in the United States in 2020?
In fact, I can prove it to you using your own logic why you should. Because if anybody comes to make you do that, you have no argument whatsoever from a moral standpoint as to why they shouldn't. That's why you should, because you literally cannot tell a human being. Let me finish. I just let you finish. I just let you exactly. Nobody has one. Nobody has one. Nobody has a single moral argument for why you shouldn't do that. So if they do, if the patriarchy does do it, and they do make you do that, you have nothing to say about that. Nothing.
So I'm going to turn it to you now. Can you tell me where you get your morals? Why is that morally wrong? Tell me why. Why do you think it's morally moral? Where do you get your moral philosophy? And also, how do you think that should be infringed on or enforced on everyone else? And then my second question is that I'm just going to be honest, me and most of the women like me, we're not worried about somebody coming into our house. I have like 3 guards before you even get to like 3
Yeah, who are all men.
So my question here is that
where's your female guard? Do you have like a female guard and those ninjutsu?
Let me finish. The threat of a home invasion where someone's going to come force me to breed is just not at the forefront of my mind. And so tell me a good reason, a real reason that I should live by your standard in my relationships and in my life in general, and what you're predicating your morality on, because I love moral philosophy.
Listen.
I've done a lot. What?
If you have done moral philosophy, and I actually don't even understand why you're asking me this question. the predication of why it's totally and completely justified for me to do whatever the fuck I want and anybody else to you is because you yourself say that you don't believe that there's a single argument in existence. Stop. Because you say there isn't a single argument in existence which you can offer as a refutation for why they shouldn't. So if you can't offer why they shouldn't, then why shouldn't they?
You didn't answer my question.
That is answering your question.
No, my question, you're asking a question back. My question to you is,
I didn't ask you a question.
Okay, so for those of us who don't want to believe in divine command based on absolutely no.
Yeah, why would you care? You don't have an objective argument against.
Right? So I would even argue
there's no argument actually
that further the well-being of society, and there are things that will not. You just don't know what those things are.
You can't make that argument because, from your standpoint, there's no possible way for me to be wrong in divine command theory because you have zero justifications for any morality whatsoever make the bold claim that there's not a single argument which can be offered against me having divine command theory. You literally just said that.
That's what I mean. It's just stupid. Just like nobody else can have if someone said I'm getting my morals from Harry Potter and I'm going to go by the wizarding world of Harry Potter, I mean, I can't tell you why that's objectively morally wrong. You're just a fucking idiot to me.
Oh,
I'm
great.
So grateful.
I love the fact that your argument is because you're stupid. It's because you're stupid. That's why.
You like it to be structured. That's the reality of, and I believe that people should not harm other people because I think that overall the well-being of society is not going to be facilitated by that. I also don't think for the well-being of society is good to live with the kind of morality that you have and your weird twisted version of your divine command. Because I've never heard Christians say that they would be okay with raping and killing people.
Neither did I. I never made the affirmative claim I would. I asked a hypothetical to test your logic. I never made the affirmative claim I'd be okay with anything.
No. I asked you if you think that's okay, and you said that, if 80% of women were getting killed.
If there was a greater duty to the human, and every Christian would tell you the same thing. Let me finish. Every Christian would tell you, every one of them would tell you that we operate off of duty and virtue. So we're going to look at each individual situation, no matter how absurd the hypothetical, and it's easy for me to bite a bullet and just say there would be a higher duty then. And almost all rational people on planet Earth would agree, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, unless the churches and all these people that you're saying are going to come and, again, do the sword fight, my question to you is, right now, in modern society, we have the power. We have the institutions. We have no laws. We have no anything that's saying that this is the way that relationships should be. And a lot of people are choosing by their own, they're making their autonomous decision that they don't want to be in this kind of relationship. So why is it good other than you saying it is objective reality that it's good? And that's objective reality that if men wanted to, they could enforce it. But it's also objective reality right now that the powers are in the institutions. And if you want to overthrow that, you have to overthrow the institutions. So until you can do that, until you can overthrow all our institutions with your little crucible revolution, why should we now listen to you?
Why would it take, I don't even understand. Why would it take a revolution for us to take back institutions?
Well, you were saying that you're trying to rally a group of people.
Yeah, to vote on stuff. Is there any behavior at all that does not follow on this threshold of harming somebody else? Just any independent behavior?
Is this even relate?
I just want to know the answer to this. Is there any behavior at all that doesn't hurt somebody else that you would say is bad? Anything? Incest, necrophilia, any of those things?
So there's a behavior that's detrimental to yourself, like eating too much junk food. Like, I wouldn't say that that's something that I would say is a good thing for someone to do, but it's not my fucking business if someone wants to eat a bunch of donuts and
what about necrophilia? Is that any of your business?
I would say that there is harm in doing that to the dead, because obviously if that person,
what if they consent? What if they consent beforehand that they want their dead body molested?
If they consent beforehand, honestly, then sure.
Then necrophilia is okay for society.
If the person literally is when I die, and they're of a state of mind where they can consent to it, sure, yeah.
And twin brothers having incestual relationships with each other, twin sisters, that's fine.
As long as there's no procreation involved, I can't say that it's morally wrong. No.
Can you say any behavior? Can you say any behavior is morally wrong then if it doesn't cross this threshold of hurting somebody else?
If it doesn't harm somebody, I don't think I could say it's morally wrong. But your whole point with me is I can barely say anything's morally wrong. So
okay,
that's true.
You're up.
Winner still undefeated for the heavyweight debate champions, Andrew Wilson. Cool. We actually did a poll and came out pretty close. Panel thoughts on paleo?
Yeah, who won the poll?
You won by about 8%.
But yeah, this is your audience.
No, it's not my audience.
It's my audience.
Yeah, but you're also in like the.
They hate me. They hate me. They hate me.
No, that's not true. My audience has a weird crush on you. Now, Jasmine, out of all the people who debated Andrew, and I've done poll, you've done the best, I believe, aside from maybe Destiny. So,
really?
So
she did the best? If she did the best, I don't want to know who did the worst.